Hi guys, good Sunday morning to you. Time is, I don't know, 11 something. Not here in my kitchen studio, so I can't give you an accurate time without my oven clock, of course. How we doing? How's Sunday treating you guys so far? Yes, I'm outside for once, huh? Had to take my diggity doggity outside. Now my dog pretends she has to go to the bathroom so she can get let out, but more often than not, she really has to run outside just to go chase squirrels. That's her big thrill in life, is trying to hunt down squirrels. So that's why I'm sitting out here on my front stoop with my coffee and smokes, and figured I'd hop on here, chit chat, see if anybody else was on. But coffee always tastes better after the morning toothbrush. At least for me it does. I think it would taste nasty because, having a minty breath and then drinking coffee, but I guess brushing the teeth is just kind of a palate cleanser, if you will. You want to be fancy, so makes the coffee taste come through more. But yeah, so I'm watching my dog here as she doesn't do anything. She ran her rounds around the trees trying to find any squirrels that she could get. Of course, she did not get any squirrels. Morning, Chris. How we doing? Hope you're fantastic. I am dog watching right now. And, but yeah, she hasn't gotten any squirrels. She wishes she got some squirrels, but what will happen is sometimes she'll get pretty close to these squirrels, and they will get away from her, and then get up in the tree, and then our dog Nala ends up barking up in the tree, and the squirrel starts chittering and mocking her from the tree branches. I mean, that is actually what happens. The squirrels end up mocking her because she, they get away from her, and then they will mock her. So it pisses her off because, she can't get them. And I'm telling you, I think squirrels have a sense of humor because they know she's not fast enough to get them. What up, Joey? They know that she's not fast enough, but one of these days, Nala's going to get lucky and get a hold of one of them damn squirrels. And they're not going to be happy then. But until then, they're going to keep getting up in the tree branch, and they will get low enough to the lowest tree branch to where she cannot reach them, and then they will start yelling down at her and mocking her, probably calling her obscene words in squirrel language. And I think that just makes her more angry and more determined to try and kill a squirrel the next time she gets out. But like I said, she will whine at us, okay, like she needs to use a bathroom. And it's probably actually a 50-50 on whether she really has to use a bathroom when she does that. But then you open up the door and she would just bolt right out of it, straight towards the trees. Okay. Sometimes she'll do that, and then she actually will use a restroom. But half the time she doesn't even use a bathroom. So you're sitting out here like a schmuck, watching the dog run around, trying to get squirrels, and then realize she's not going to use a bathroom. So that happens too. Let's see, somebody else is coming out. Oh, it's my wife. Wow. She's looking for the lighter that I stole from her whilst she was sleeping. But yeah, what's going on, guys? What's happening? What's going on in your neck of the woods? Feel free to chime in there. This week coming up, it's going to be an interesting week. Once I get inside, back into my studio, I'll explain why. But, well, I'll go into it a little bit here. It's going to be quite a few. I'm going to be talking about movies quite a bit in this next week. Well, this week coming up. Going to be a lot of A lot of movie talk, okay? And chances are a lot of these movies I'm going to be talking about are not movies you're familiar with, okay? I'm going to be exposing you guys to new cinema for a lot of you. So that ought to be interesting for you guys. I'm not going to be talking about Hollywood blockbusters or anything like that, or anything you're going to be able to find on Netflix. Okay, we're going to be getting a little obscure. Okay, maybe even out of your comfort zone, even. But it's not October yet. I know. But some of the movies I'm going to be talking about are kind of creepy. Maybe I should have waited until October to go into this, but I didn't. So every night of this week coming up, I'm going to be watching a different movie, and then the next day I'm going to be talking about it on Wasted Lunch. Okay. And maybe some of you guys will have seen the movies and can chime in on it. But I think it's going to be interesting for a lot of people, because a lot of you folks probably have not heard of all the movies I'm going to be going through. So it ought to be interesting. The movies I'm going to be going over, I have seen before. I own these movies, so I know about them. But then again, most of these movies I haven't seen for a while, so I'm going to rewatch them and give you my opinion on these movies and tell you what they're about and kind of what happens in them, and see if any of you have seen these movies. So that's kind of going to be what's going on this next week. So how I'm going to start off the shows is talking about these movies and just having fun. I love movies. Always love film. I've always loved reading and pictures. I like photographs. I like pictures. I'm going back to when I was real young. So you put them both together. You got moving pictures. You got sound. You got stories. Naturally, that may, I've been a film fan since birth. And one of the particular genres of movies I've always liked are what people would call horror films, or films that scare, films that terrify. Always been a fan of those type of pictures. So Halloween and October, very important month to me. And although I will admit it, lately as I get older, I'm becoming less of a fan of the Four Seasons. I think it's just because sometimes the winter / fall months just seem to drag on so much that I don't know, they've been rough on me the last few years, so I haven't been as big a fan of them as I was when I was a lad. So, but nonetheless, October is still a cool month because the leaves change. You get all the different leafy colors, the reds, the browns, the yellows, and it is lovely for a spell. Of course, that spell doesn't last as long as I'd like it to. You get the leafy change, but it definitely turns into a better time for telling creepy stories. The smell of leaves burning in the air stirs something up inside of me, making me think of those creepy stories that I've heard my whole life, and books I've read, and movies I've seen that talk about the dark and unknown. Yeah, the fragrance of the burning leaves really stirs that up in me, and I imagine I'm not the only person it does it to. It's kind of like a tap on the shoulder that says, I'm here. it's that time again, you know. And so, yeah, October, it's a fun time of the year, but it's spooky, isn't it? It's creepy. It's creepy. Then all these beautiful trees with all their lovely green leafy covering, they start losing their leaves and they start turning into skeletons, you know. The limbs start looking more like bony arms reaching out in all directions. You know, they look like they're ready to grab something or someone. And the plants start to die down. Things become a little more stark, a little more desolate. Boy, I'm making this sound grim, ain't I? But, you know, if you're from a, what would you call it, a temperate zone? I think that's the right word. Like Northeast Ohio, Midwest, Northeast, or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You've been there. It changes outside. And it's get pretty gloomy sometimes, can it? But yeah, it's Halloween time is getting closer. People in my neighborhood already are putting up the pumpkins and things like that, and little scarecrow decorations in their yards. Those are already going up. Everybody else around here is already getting their autumn look going on to their house. We haven't here. I guess we're holding out for some reason. I don't know. We haven't been busy in the yard, but anyways, yeah. So maybe I'm starting a little early because a lot of these movies are going to be kind of creepy. They aren't horror movies per se, but they're definitely not. These are not going to be family-friendly pictures I'm talking about. But anyways, that's just a little talk about things to come. I think I'm going to get my dog and get her furry little butt back in the house. Maybe get myself a fresh cup of coffee. And now my wife's awake, so I'm going to go hang out with her, guys. Figured I'd pop on here, though, and say good morning to everybody. Good Sunday morning to you. And I'm, of course, going to be back on here tomorrow, Monday, at noonish. And going to start talking about these movies. Going to introduce you to the new week. Say hello to all of you beautiful guys and gals, and talk about some movies. Possibly some movies you guys haven't seen, so it ought to be fun. But I look forward to that. So let's see, somebody just gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, it's Scott. It's Macklefresh. What's up, dude? What's up? I was just talking about this week. Wasted lunch shows. I'm going to be talking about a whole different genre of movies than most people are used to. I think it's going to be interesting. I've got quite a collection of these pictures, and I'm just going to wham, boom, smack everybody in the face with these pictures and see if anybody's watched them. And a little bit different genre than I usually talk about. Well, there's no usual about me, is there? These movies are actually, I'll go ahead and I'll spill the beans. Give people something to anticipate seeing, alright? Okay, Scott says, what's up, brother? Not a whole lot. Just right now I'm outside, got my doggie outside. She pretended she had to go to the bathroom so she could go squirrel hunting. So she used my ass. She used me. But, come on, Nala. Oh, she's listening to me. This genre of movies in particular that I'm talking about, that I'm going to be talking about all next week, okay? All next week are cannibal movies. Oh, Scott says, I know you are a chick flick guy. You got my number. You know me. Let's see. Scott says my dog uses me too. LOL.
$50 for a tire?
Yeah. Dogs aren't stupid. They know how to get what they want. But, yeah, check these out. I've got some movies here. And I'm going to be going over these movies. Okay. Cannibal Pictures. Now, one of the things challenging about watching all these movies in a week, I'm going to be watching them by myself. My wife totally hates cannibal movies. Alright?
Morning, babe.
She hates them.
Morning.
I love them. I've got a strong passion and taste for cannibal movies. I don't know what it is. Call it sick, call it morbid. Maybe it is, but I watch cannibal movies. Do I think that people should be eating one another nowadays, this day and age? Maybe not. Well, no, I don't. I do not condone cannibalism, alright? But I do think it's a fascinating thing that has been practiced in probably every single culture at one point in time or another. Okay?
Okay, go.
People been eating each other for... Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dad.
It's not done so much now, I'm sure, but...
Alright, go ahead.
There are lots of movies about it. And...
No, it was yesterday.
So, call it sick or whatever. That's what these movies are about. I'm not gonna lie. And that's what I'm going to be talking about, are these movies. I'm going to be talking about the less known ones. Now, a lot of people, Americans especially, have not heard or known much about these cannibal pictures until a movie came out a few years back called The Green Inferno. Okay? And what was funny about that was I had already long been a cannibal movie fan before that came out. And that, to me, when I saw it, said, this guy is totally a fan of these old cannibal flicks I've seen for years. And I'm going to be talking about those movies. Most of them are Italian films from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And anyways, I'm going to be having them, and you can eat your heart out watching them.
Oh, Freda's.
And I'll give you my opinions on them. Which ones are the best, which ones are the worst.
He got a Nissan Versa.
Some of them are more notorious than others.
He paid.
There was
2009.
There was what the United Kingdom called a video nasty list. And these were movies that were banned in most of the UK and Europe. Okay, they were outright banned from being played in the theaters. Alright. And for various reasons, mostly violence. Okay. And if you watch these movies nowadays with the 2018 point of view, you're going to say, how in the hell did these movies ever get made? This is so profane, so vulgar. It's wrong. And the main reason you would be thinking of that from a 2018 perspective is the animal cruelty in these movies. Now, first off, let me get one thing straight here. I am not an animal abuser, okay? I don't believe in hurting one of God's creatures just to hurt it. However, I do eat God's creatures, all right? I do that. I'm a carnivore for sure. But I don't believe in torturing or tormenting animals. I think that's inhumane. Now, eating them, I do that. I do eat them. So I don't have a problem with eating animals, but I wouldn't torture them to death. You know what I mean? So I understand why people hunt. It makes sense. But anyway, oh no, I lost Scott. Don't tell me Scott. Oh, Scott might have thought I was saying something bad about hunting. Maybe. I'm not talking bad about hunting, but I understand hunting, but torturing animals is another thing. You know what I mean? You know the difference. That's what I'm talking about. Difference between hunting something and eating it and torturing it. But what happened is in a lot of these movies, they're showing primitive cultures hunting these animals and dispatching them in ways that are not what you think of when you think of hunting, I guess. Maybe I'll explain it on a picture-by-picture thing, okay? I don't know how to explain it better, but either way, there you have it. That's my opinion. I believe in, I believe it's all right to eat animals. There, some people will hate me for that, but I do. I eat animals, but I don't think it's cool to torture them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Either way, but these movies deal with they show a lot of, I don't know, I guess you'd say, yeah, animal cruelty. And some of the scenes, it does seem like they purposely took these animals and pitted them against each other to have them fight or whatever. And people will be, from a 2018 point of view, people will be, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I don't know. You got to make up your own mind on it. These movies are not for the faint of heart, period. And I don't know. I'll explain the movies as they come out. But they're shocking to the sensibilities in that. That's one of the big reasons. Another thing is, it's not just the animal stuff. There is a lot of violence in a lot of these movies that I'm going to be going over to human beings also. But the violence to people, it is, it's a movie. Whereas the violence, when it involves the animals, it's not bullshit. It's a real deal. Okay? So, that is, I think, where most people would be offended or have problems watching the pictures I'm going to be reviewing and discussing. They're going to have problems watching that. And a good deal of people will have problems with just the on-screen violence, period, towards other people, too. These aren't your standard horror flicks. But what I think is good about them, you can call them exploitation movies, purposely in-your-face violence, which, yeah, in a way, maybe they are. But, in a way, they don't show anything that wasn't once a daily reality to just about everybody who's watching it, to your culture at one time. I mean, a lot of the things that happen in there, there's a lot of tribal shit in there and violence, but at one time, our people were in tribes, and physical violence was a very common thing, and so it touches on that. I think a lot of people are scared to admit that, people, maybe even your ancestors, were like this at one time. Dealing with things, instead of talking about it, dealing with them with a big ass club or a spear or something. So I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with facing that, or even entertaining that idea, but it's true. So the movies, to me, they're fascinating. Yeah, you can say they're exploitative trash or whatever, which, that's an opinion. They're not high art. The movies that we'll be going over are not high art. I'll admit that for certain. They're not works of Fellini or anything like that. They're not Steven Spielberg. Hollywood, for the masses kind of, mass consumption kind of films. They're not that either, but, they, to me, are, entertaining, I guess. They're intriguing, but I've always had an interest in, I don't want to say primitive peoples, because to me that's kind of demeaning, but people who live in a more primitive way, I think would be a better way to put it. People who live more by the basics. I've always had a fascination with that, because I've spent a lot of my time, a lot of my life reading about different cultures, reading about, my culture way back in the days, and how people conducted business, and it's always been very intriguing to me as to how life was before people were wearing suits and ties and shit like that. Always been fascinating to me. So for me, watching movies about people who still live in tribes and stuff out in the jungle or desert or wherever, it's interesting. So, but yeah, each day I'm going to watch a new movie and I'm going to talk about it and tell you guys, and yeah, you might want to, these movies might want to make some people puke, I guess, but that's what it is. It's what I'm going to be talking about. It's going to be some of the subject matter I'm going to be hitting upon all week long. Okay, I'm going to watch a new movie. I'm going to talk about it the next day, period. So, you're totally thrown off by the idea of cannibalism or whatever, yeah, you might not want to hear about it, but then again, maybe you should hear about it. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. And, yeah, it's not October yet, but this is, it's kind of a lead up to October, and then I think during October, it'd be cool to go through some, maybe we'll talk about some good old classic horror flicks, but, that's the plans for this upcoming week, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, I hope you guys show up. I hope you show up for Wasted Lunch, and hop in the show. That's a good thing about the show. You don't just watch it. You can be part of it. You can chime in and opine and let me hear what's on your mind too. So that's kind of that's one of the things I really like about this format, the whole Facebook Live. Makes it a lot of fun. But anyways, I'm long past wishing you guys a happy Sunday. And now if you've actually stuck around and listened to what I've been talking about, you're like, up yours, Paul. You're not talking about anything that is making my Sunday any happier. Okay, buddy? If so, yeah, too bad. But, yeah, I'm going to hop off of here, guys, and I truly do wish you guys a happy Sunday, and watch Wasted Lunch Monday through Friday noon. If you get behind a show, no need to fear. The older videos, after they're done recorded, are still available to watch on my Facebook page or on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which is Paul McVeigh Originals Universe. Okay? I am uploading all of the Wasted Lunches to that channel. Okay? So get on there, subscribe, watch the videos, thumbs up it, That thumbs up is a big deal. It seems like it might seem stupid and silly, but when you're the dude putting the videos up and somebody gives you a thumbs up, it makes you feel pretty good. So I appreciate those. But I'm gonna hop off of here, guys. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great time. Be safe, stay out of trouble, and I'll see you later. Bye.